Uh, Good morning, folks. It's 5:01 a.m. I'm just making sure my volume settings are okay. Yes. And the third month, ninth day. And Alfie's in a very surprising location that most people are kind of blew their minds a little bit. I told you they had three eyes going. Each eye was an individual accretion disk of a storm on a different layer of the atmosphere. And they slung one of them right over here between Amity Point and this right here. It came straight across and it went all the way inland very, very, very quickly. And the dynamics of its spin are now going to do a back wraparound through here. And I can't 100% tell where it's going to go. This is the weirdest forecast I ever forecasted. But I have to say this: these supercells that have just suddenly been blown up here towards here, just outside Gladstone, they bear watching because I'm picking up possible hook trails in some of these, like these little looks here like this. But when I see one go to this side of the storm, especially on the trailing edges like this, that means where you guys start watching these. And this line's about to link up and go real electric because you see this out to sea? It's being held by a beam and it's slowly being moved in like a wiper blade. And 100% can't tell how it's going to react because they made three huge cells over the top of Harvey Bay all at once with a bunch of chem. And so I'm going to show you those and try to figure out when the hell is this thing going to go. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, look at that radar right there, is I'm going to go over here and show you where Alfie is. Hello, Alfie, where are you? Where are you? See over here. See this here? I'm going to zoom it back. It's a good place to stop it. You see where the center rotation is right here? If I get this going around again, just look at where my cursor is right here. And that's the eye of Alfie. It came ashore and it's over here currently. And it's still spinning with all its dynamics and its water and everything. And it's about to catch what comes in here and what coming down here and then stream back down. And looking by the chem, I don't think it's going to make it all the way down to Sydney. I have a feeling it's going to go out to sea because I see a corridor here set up coming out Port Mac. And you see all this stuff here? That looks to me like food for that cyclonic system. And it's no longer even listed as even a tropical storm. And I'll show you that now. And it was a pleasure to see this because I knew this would happen. Pressure and its winds got too low. So the rest of the world only sees now an invest area back to number 18. And until the wind speeds get up high enough, you'll have data on it. So it is no longer even listed by the rest of the world as fuck all. And that's all you see out here is a geostorm. And I stand by my words. This is undeniably a geoengineered storm. These are impossible conditions. But so this is where the center is. It's right where I'm pointing. Oh, she made a beeline straight in. And now it's spinning because it's run into a wall of EMF. You see that straight line there and that straight line here? It's radar locked right now. It can't go nowhere. It's being held. It's beam locked. Yep, as I would call it. It is held in a path of perturbation. Yeah, just like that video from the past that New 7 has out. The guy's talking about influencing storms, and he says it didn't say he would do it to this one, but he says he could do it, and he does it by creating corridors of flow. See this here? Yeah, I guess I got green on, so that's it. This is the center right here. Okay, so everything's wrapping around like this, right? It's still turning that direction. Okay. Still turning that direction, but that what Mr. Squiggles in the center, I'll just say X marks this spot. This is its current center of rotation. Yeah, it's right here. Okay, that's where it is, right where the intersection is. So all this is bringing, there's a lot of flow that wants to turn back around because this thing is now turning from about here to about here. It's still the same width. You see how wide that is? Yeah, I said, you try forecasting where every drop of rain is going to fall along that path and me, that fucking goddamn, I want to know how you did it. Because I do the best I can. You don't get enough raindrops somewhere? Sorry to hear that. I have a feeling it's not done yet. That's why I'm doing another forecast. Now, when I turn on the feed, watch this plume here. Reach towards this one, okay? It's going to do a move, right? It's going to come along and actually squiggle along like this. Watch this. So I'm going to put that on. I found that a bit interesting. Don't you? I'm going to turn off some of the town names now. So you'll see this a lot better. I dang sure will. Now watch Mr. Squiggles over here. This is an interesting move. So I'm going to go back in time till this was 4.5 hours ago. I'm going to put it on fast. See it? Watch the move. How many directions of flow? If everything's flowing out to, say, this level here, right? How come that's doing that? These are chem bomb deployment. It's some kind of a strato cruiser type device deploying chemical catalyst. It's way above any level of the atmosphere that your typical cloud seeding type airplanes would be operating at. And these type beam lines that I talk about, the heated outflows, is admitted by that guy in that video. But in no way, shape, or form did he say he modified this hurricane. So be careful what you're saying right now. That's why I wouldn't report on it until I finish checking. So right here, see the center of circulation? See how wide that is? If I put these town names on, you get an idea. You know, that would be like from this B in Brisbane here. I can't zoom any closer in. All the way into Toowoomba over here. That'd take you a long time to drive. And to go from this side here, the storm is actually right on edging on Mulaney right now. It's on the other side there. Of the mountain. Only thing holding that off from fucking down in the hinterland right now is the moisture over here hasn't come down to meet you yet. So if you want to go ahead and let your guard down, I think you're being a fool. But you know, what kind of fools? I'd rather give you a warning than be going to a funeral mourning. That's kind of, I look at that now. Look at all the food going out to sea. That's a lot of chem stripping water off the storm. And they're bringing that up into the tropics to use for one that's forming here to do some storming over here coming up later this week. Yeah. We will have a system forming about 5-6 days from now. And not a very organized thing coming down in through Carpentaria into the Nunt up there. And so I'm going to give that a little more to the day. Another thing I'm just noticing here is this haze. You see that little right here? And it's moving. That's an EMF wave from a radar station influencing the condensates and pulsing. Because there's another one. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Do you have a mobile radar truck out there? Because that's a condensate. They actually, the only way they could get around the Bradshaw effect here was chem bomb this guy's house every direction but Sunday. Yeah, it's a crazy flow coming in. Yeah, so the moisture over here, when it's this that they're bringing in above it here, they're going to use that water to bring down and get you. They got a hard on for that area back there, it looks like. But that's where she is. And then the other two eyes hung out. They were hanging out on the shore over here. One was over here and one was over here because it was spinning like that. This has the most impetus, so that's the drive gear with the most torque. See how wide it is? It has the biggest lever arm. I got to go mechanics on this. Another one was over here, bigger than that one, and it was spinning here while the other one's spinning the same way in front of it. So every time this came around like that and that came around like that, it knocked its speed down and shoved a little bit of moisture in and up. And that's what's going on right now. As she's going to do the left turn Clyde, and its moisture gets sucked into this system here and comes down. But I'm very concerned about these sudden supercells being blown up over here along the Capricorn coast, so that doesn't give me very much happy bubbles to tell you, heads up, folks. How about folks, Mother Tucker? Protect the dust. Tucker dust, it's a must. You ain't tried that seasoning yet? It's an Australian product, then you will want to be healthy and taste something nice. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, this is the Sheridan. Give us our casino fucking storms. Are they having any Olympic events up there? Very cold cloud tips. That's what that was. Let's see if we can put up the visible back up here. And if I go back a whole bunch of hours here, like 12 of them, I'll show you her coming ashore again. I think it's going to take a minute for this to load. It's kind of hard to see in the scale on this, but here, just call mature over here. Here we go. We got daylight. And we can see the dynamics on the top of these not so round cells like that one over there. Geostar, chem bombed up. Can bomb a nation across the nation. Welcome to Chemstria. We love the land, say a prayer. Look at that, like an Easter egg. Babyface Finster. I want an Easter egg. I want an Easter egg. Zigzag man out there. EMF much? Bzzz. Getting fried. Controlling the heated outflows. I'm beginning to suspect that maybe a company is involved in trying to modify this storm. It has made it so chaotic that it has ruined people's lives. I think so. I've never seen geo moves like this. Have you ever seen a storm do this to your clouds? All these squares and lines and squiggles and diggles and, well, you could say that something isn't real because you can't handle the truth. But you can't prove that geoengineering is not litigated. You can't prove that because I got that document right here. And look at this part here, the U.S. Science Committee. They published this in February 4, 2010. And here's where they talk about injecting preformed particles. That always bothered me. Preformed particles of other chemicals, e.g., titanium oxide, to effect control over the process of reflecting sun into space, aka blocking the sun. Right? You don't tell me this ain't real, and don't tell me it ain't chemicals, and don't tell me everything up there is fairy dust nice, or that I ever even see silver iodide mentioned in any of these suggested chemicals that are to be used. You see a lot of things with sulfur being injected, and I know that caused acid rain. But if they want to simulate what a volcano does, right? That doesn't always do well for long-term agriculture growth. There's a lot of different quotes put on this. Excuse me, man. I have to undo that, I guess. I've gone too far. Here we go. Hang on. I'll have to do something. Hang on a minute. Let me set this back. Okay, back. So I go over to page 13. You'll also see the sulfur aerosol injection. Oh, come on. It's not doing that thing. It's not happy with me. I'm going to keep my cool. If you come down here, you'll see these potential delivery vehicles for stratospheric sulfur dioxide injection include, it's not stretching, aircraft artillery shells, stratospheric balloons, and hoses suspended from towers. Stratospheric balloons, I think, is the most common method in combination with pulling up a platform that has some kind of firework artillery shell platform is what I suspect. I suspect that. Sulfur dioxide. Smell like farts out there? The pHs we're picking up out there are within acceptable limits of seawater and okaynesses. They're in the 7s, not too high. Yay. Can we say yay? I told you, we got to look for facts. It doesn't mean every rain down here and every deployment is. So I'm going to run through some of this radar, some of these heavy cells that are showing up on radar, if it's being honest to us. And we'll pick up some of these beams going down the coast like this one here. And I could do a map of all the beams. I think by now you can realize the wicked glitch that's making clouds change is not just a mistake. It's a weather tool. Bzz, 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 bzz. Look at this one down here. Hi. Welcome to Grafton. Beaming, beaming, beaming. So they're controlling the flows. Bzzzt. Yeah, right across Byron. They made sure that didn't slide down too soon. They want that moisture up in a certain area, and they're going to do the whip around on you. Yeah, the low over here, Hurricane 1, real Alfie, is cruises around with all its dynamics. It scoops up all this chem and storms and dynamics that quickly make stuff and bring it down there. And when it mixes, the lightning's going to absolutely go fucking nuts. So that's quite a few hours away. So I'm going to run through this. Now this is the update. Hi. Sunshine Coast, you ain't getting no rain? You better fucking be careful what you ask for. With a geostorm, the beams decide everything, and I'd rather be wrong and tell you. Because there's hundreds of miles of coastline here I've been very correct about. Yeah. But damn, for kilometers. It's a very white storm. Look, that's 3-4 hours of that. Okay, so that's close to 20 centimeters. It hits that wall because that whip around of air is coming like this. Yep. And down she goes. Back over and out and through some of those areas that I thank God you guys stayed prepared. And I didn't want to say anything about this till I'm fairly sure, but they've shut the door everywhere else, and you're getting a little bit of backdoor rain coming over parts of some of these creeks that lead into northern rivers. I said some of them. Some of this has been shut off on the coast, as you see, and is coming down more towards this area here. I think she's going to come out between Cuffs and over here. I'm having a hard time seeing how it's going to make it down to Sydney. I have a hard time seeing how, because this moisture here is flipping up and in. Got to remember that big mass I showed you, this turning thing here. It's really running the show because of its inertia and its mass, and there's nothing stopping it. There's just two things shaving it over on this side to keep it from going somewhere else, and they're oscillating, boom, 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 putting infrasonic undulation into the storm. And you could do a lot with infrasound inside a storm itself, as some people are familiar with. Yeah, there's a bad storm blowing up on top of you right now. I'm not liking that at all. See infrared showing me. I'm going to have to flip around a minute. It's all about the now. And tomorrow is a promise unspoken. Yeah, these are bomb plumes, sure enough. This is going to get really nasty. I think it might split your Gladstone. I'm not sure. Yeah, hunker down, Danielle Campbell. As for you, Agnes, and you're about to get some wetnesses. Maybe somebody protected this point over here, and now everybody up here gets wet. So let's give it to you, Bundy. And this is coming fairly quick. I got it on the wrong one. The totals weren't super mean. Yeah, but they're not nothing you ever want to see falling in an afternoon. Right, this is I don't want to go too far up. Yeah, that's fair. This is fair. This is fair. 3 and 4 centimeters is about what I'm expecting to see. Even going up into this area here that should have got a bunch earlier, they have a way of going after areas that we thwart, I think. Yep, dingo. The dingus is a word, by the way. When my kid was growing up, my son, and he was little, we didn't walk around using a bunch of dirty words as much as possible, and he dubbed the penis was the dingus. And so that became what it is. And we said it like this, the dingus. And I saw the dingus, and it had testicles on it, and my prediction of you guys going ball deep was good. This is what I hope it happens. Because if this moves over any more than here, it catches this mountain on this side here in the plains, she's coming back over here. And if it does it like this, it's really going to escape a lot of this flooded area and add no more to the catchment. Because right now, that's your biggest risks. And this is how I'm hoping it's played out. Because you ain't out of the woods. You still got some more stuff, 5-6 centimeters hitting the creeks, but those 10 centimeter an hour rains that some of you showed me on your weather gauges, that was an astounding amount of rain. You see this swath here? So this swath here where it goes, the big thick that tendril of this is bringing down here through this area I call the trough, and that mess here is going to be left to sit. They're just going to drop its condensate. So Maury, you're going to have 10, 12 centimeters, 14 centimeters. Some of these pockets are going to have a bit heavier than that because I see some cells in there that are packing at least 15 centimeters in them for the period of time that this is going to go by. This is the best case scenario. I think it's a little more north of here. I'm not seeing the line right now bringing it all the way through here. Okay, so we're going to watch this very closely, but it looks like EMF has spoken. It dang sure looks like the chemtrails have spoken. You can't map it out any more than what they've done over here. That's the food to take it out to sea again. And you see the path continually actually being plumed by something right over here above the entrance. That might be fair accurate to say the entrance is the dividing line of the heavier rains. See that curve there? They're ready to take it out to sea here. So probably the main, it don't have a center. Alfie's gone. Alfie's dead. Alfie's just cruising, man. Went walkabout in the outback, man. Went straight in, said, fuck it, man. I'm out of this chemtrail madness. I'm going walkabout. Yeah, took his time making up his mind. It's only time. Yeah, I've heard great jokes and memes about it, but at the end of the day, when you got a storm that's supposed to be flowing that direction, and this is going that way, and that's going that way, you've got the Chem Bomb Cruiser over here. I haven't loaded up Worldview, and I'm not gonna. I've had enough loaded up. I kind of show you what's going to happen the next few days. And you got about 4 or 5 days for the dynamics of what's developing over here uh, to come to fruition. And I'll rewarn about that. So let me have a little more rest because I've only had 4 hours really of solid sleep in the past 5 days. And I don't like being groggy and not understanding things. So that's where it is. That's how it's going. That dynamics of Alfie itself that you barely noticing is kicking all that stuff they're making right now up here. It's coming to visit you. You don't believe in geoengineering? I suggest you read this document litigating it about this activity. Okay, hey, it's working again. Oh, so I had to get off the screen. I suggest you look at this at page 1. You know, this guy wrote it. It's a very peer-reviewed paper. Imagine somebody named William C. Burns involved with something about shading the world from sunlight and convincing us that somehow that's not an idea that a psychopath proposes. Right? Paris Agreement, climate, geoengineering, governments, the need for human rights-based content. You have component. You have got to. In other words, we better act human while we're doing this. You read this. And this is the document showing you what a chemtrail sky looks like. That's not a beautiful sunset. That's what it looks like when a gas chamber comes to you, so to speak. When you got people that got Mengele-like ideas and Nazi attitudes towards populations of people, like we're not giving a shit, just doing what they want. And blocking the sunlight doesn't give a shit about a whale. It don't care about phytoplankton. It don't care about the trees that I love. And it don't care about natural vitamin D or U, but it really cares about making money off of illnesses and curing the never-ending stuff. And I gotta say this: if you ever find a curing ward in a hospital, would you take a picture of the sign for me? Because I see endless treatment. Nobody knows what they're doing, I guess, because they call it a practice. Well, I just gave you the forecast. I'm not happy to see. I'm not happy to see it. But that's where it is. It's all the way over here. 100% correct. 3-eye storm. I now know how they do it. And that's what the mess is right now. Right off the coast over here. The best surfing today. Now, I got to give it to you guys. Now, I'm going to give you the best surfing. Stay over here. It's not worth a trip down to Sydney to miss out what's going to hit over here over the next probably 18 hours. Yeah, Ruchi. Out through here. You're going to want to get the rare points over here. You're going to have some good action. If stuff's streaming down this way, you're about to, the tops are really going to get high on them because of the wind blowing that way. So this is a great place, Sunshine Coast. You're about to get some action that you thought you wasn't going to get, and I was hoping you weren't going to. Oh, better safe than sorry. And I'm never sorry for doing the right thing. My gosh, look at all the chem. I'm just going to have a quick look about. Because you ain't the only ones in the world that get sprayed. Look at that. I wonder if today is the day I'm finally going to turn on this map and say, yay, they ended chemtrails in the United States. I thought we have light there yet, so I'll have to go with this one. I'm curious. Is today the day? Are there no chemtrails in America? No geoengineering? Lots of boosts. Oh, yeah, here we go. Now, I'd say it's not yet. So you could say no to the Paris Agreement, but it doesn't just stop. When did the United Nations get off speaking for the whales? When did they get off not telling you guys that EMF like this stuff here done over the ocean could cause the beachings of whales? Stuff like this bothers me. Because there's a condition going on right now that's bothering me EMF-wise down here. And all this chemical catalyst. And they had a big blast earlier come across this direction. And it throws off their navigation. And we got to consider, is our technology and convenience and fast downloading really worth us not seeing those things, those animals anymore? Or the grief I feel? What price is it when all the wind's blowing this way and the Chem Bomb cruiser just keeps on going? What price is too much? Is it 1 Is it a million? Is it an entire species? When do we say, nah, man, I'm going to have to say something for the trees, man. That's a bad idea blocking the sun. They're not going to be able to photosynthesize efficiently. We can't do that. Let's plant more trees and maybe they have something to say about the weather. That's what I think. So there's Alfie right there. Right there. Wow, huh? Yeah. Pressure wise, you think you got a storm off the coast? This is what's so weird about this one. Very, very strange. Pressure is very strange. Very, very strange. Come on, pressures. You show me where there's a circulation even out there. It's just a dip. It's just a spit. Every time this oscillate back and forth, to throw water up there. Only the momentum of this and the chemical catalyst and wind blowing in the wind inland being condensated in the microwaves is sustaining this storm right now, because that's how this fucking works. That's right. That's how this works. There is no doubt in my mind that this entire storm is not just a geostorm, but it's been diabolically constructed and timed so that you will say yes to paying taxes to the United Nations to block your sunshine. It's time you wake up and ask yourself, how much is this going to cost me, this free lunch? That wasn't a climate lockdown. I'll talk about climate lockdown a whole nother time. That was very smart telling people to stay inside. And that was very smart of me to tell you, don't risk workers. And as Alfie's over here and you think it's over there, smoke and mirrors fills the day and chemtrails fills the air, I must say, no more is Mother Earth's the system's whore. That is all I have spoken.